What happens when Title 42 expires? Intro. Title 42, the public health emergency measure implemented during COVID era, is set to expire on 11:59 p.m. ET Thursday. This has security officials worried about what could be an unprecedented influx of migrants seeking asylum along the southern border. In this video, we'll explore what will happen when Title 42 expires. Title 42 has allowed for the quick expulsion of migrants at the border and nearly halted the processing of asylum applications for more than 3 years. Once it is lifted, the tens of thousands of people who have been waiting in Mexico after fleeing from violence, poverty, and political instability will be subject to decades-old immigration protocols known as Title 8. Under those laws, individuals can no longer be turned away or deported without a screening for asylum claims. That means they'll enter the country and be placed in detention centers as they go through a process called expedited removal, which includes a credible fear interview. Those who are deemed to have valid claims will be allowed to stay in the country as their cases make their way through immigration court. Those who are not will be deported. The longer processing times will result in a bottleneck at ports of entry and detention centers that will put a strain on federal, state, and local government resources. While the return of Title 8 may be a welcome lifeline for thousands of migrants who have been stuck in overcrowded shelters or have been living on the streets of Mexican border cities, it also carries stiffer penalties for migrants who are caught crossing the border illegally, including the possibility of a 5-year ban on entry to the U.S. for migrants who are deported, as well as prosecution. On Wednesday, the Biden administration finalized a new rule that severely limits asylum for those who arrive at the U.S.-Mexico border without first applying online or seeking protection in a country they passed through. This new rule is part of a broader effort by the administration to discourage migrants from crossing the border illegally and create a host of new legal pathways. The State Department is working on plans to eventually open about 100 regional processing centers around the Western Hemisphere, where migrants could apply for resettlement to the U.S., Canada or Spain. 2 hubs are expected to open soon in Guatemala and Colombia, though officials offered no specific dates. They also said they'll be launching a new online platform for individuals to make appointments to arrive at a center near them. The CBP One mobile app, which migrants with limited internet access have widely complained about, transitioned to a new appointment scheduling platform. Officials said they are significantly increasing the number of appointments from a low of about 300 per day to 1,000. They are prioritizing people who have been waiting the longest for appointments. Additionally, the U.S. will continue to admit 30,000 migrants a month from Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua, as long as they have applied online and have secured a financial sponsor. Mexico has agreed to continue taking back the same number who cross illegally. The administration also announced on Wednesday a new program called Family Expedited Removal Management that will help track migrant families who are seeking asylum and are released in the United States. The measure would allow immigration officials to track the head of the household via a monitoring device and require a curfew. Regardless of the outcome, the lifting of Title 42 is expected to put a strain on U.S. immigration resources. The return of Title 8 may be a welcome lifeline for thousands of migrants who have been stuck in overcrowded shelters or have been living on the streets of Mexican border cities, but it also carries stiffer penalties for migrants who are caught crossing the border illegally. The Biden administration is taking steps to address the situation, including launching. Despite the efforts of immigration authorities, it remains to be seen how the end of Title 42 will impact the southern border. The lifting of the measure may result in a surge of migrants seeking asylum and put a strain on resources at ports of entry and detention centers. The Biden administration has implemented several measures to address the situation, including new rule limitations on asylum, the deployment of active-duty military troops, and plans for regional processing centers. These efforts are aimed at discouraging illegal border crossings and creating new legal pathways for migrants. The situation at the southern border is complex and multifaceted, with no easy solution. As the U.S. government navigates the challenges posed by the end of Title 42 and the ongoing influx of migrants, it remains to be seen what the long-term impact will be on the country and those seeking asylum.